Hi there. Thanks for watching this week's video message. So let's talk about morphology a little bit. Some people come to me and kind of feel like they just don't know where to begin when teaching morphology. And let's be honest, there's a lot to ingest and learn when it comes to morphology. But you know what? You don't have to stink at it. That's the moral of the story. But when we get into thinking about the benefits of infusing morphology into our lessons, what are the goals here? First of all, this is for building language. And for children with dyslexia, we really need to foster and build uh, language development in so many areas of what they are studying with us. It's really for building their vocabulary and for learning even more words than we ever possibly could. When we start teaching morphological awareness, there are so many words that we can be building with them to increase their vocabulary and understanding. And because we're helping them build their vocabulary, what is that doing? Well, first of all, it's building greater utility. That means they know how to utilize the words, not only in conversation, but in their writing. But more importantly, it is helping to deepen their reading comprehension so that when they are approaching harder texts, particularly content area books, especially for our older students, then this is really, really going to aid them. So their morphology, just really the study of it, and it just has so many wonderful benefits that we really don't want to glaze over it, but we want to be thoughtful about it. So there really are some simple, systematic ways that you can infuse morphology into your lesson planning. And we think about it this way. When we have our Orton-Gillingham lessons, there are certain points in the progression that it's appropriate to start introducing certain morphemes. For instance, the simple suffixes like suffix s and ed and ing, we can really introduce those early on. But when we've introduced the concept of R-controlled vowels as a syllable type, then that's really a great time to start introducing the morpheme of the Latin root form. And so what we can do, and I'm just going to show you some of the things that you can be doing, is start by showing a picture. And I'm just going to use some of my materials to sort of walk you through how I would do this. So in morpheme blocks, we have a picture of the chrysalis, and the photograph is there really to open up the discussion, to talk about forms a Latin root. What does it mean? How is a chrysalis related to that? Okay, well, we know that the caterpillar is transforming into a butterfly through the process of metamorphosis. There are some related words that we can go over here and practice highlighting and finding that Latin root. There are some sentences where students can see them in context, and then a little writing prompt to sort of think about, okay, if you could perform anything, what would it be and why? So this is one way to just sort of give it an introduction. Start with a photo using some examples, some sentences, and writing. You can always come back to this if you want to just start with the photo and then explore how to make words with the Latin root form. Then the next thing I suggest doing is try to get some magnets where you can make things interactive for kids. And this is one board that I have found to be useful. And so it has, it's a little like, not exact because I know the boxes may be a little different depending on the words that you're building, but it's just like the mini matrix maker that you can use online. The prefixes are in green and the suffixes are in red, and you can put the whatever root or Greek form in the center there. And then you can just practice manipulating making words with your children. So you could start with just making in plus form and writing down the word. So, and just writing little word sums down here. This is a dry erase, by the way. Informed. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't add ed yet, but I could. So the next one, and then just keep building them. I can add ed, informed. I could make informing. I could add misinform, misinformed, misinforming. So I can build a ton of words just using these simple magnets and that one Latin root, and have students practice writing them down on that dry erase surface as they are making them, and practice saying them out loud, and as they're spelling them and reading them. And after that, then you can go on to one of two things. You could go on to a reading passage where students are really practicing seeing that word in context, once again, with finding examples of that Latin root. Or you can just work on reading at the sentence level. And these are just sentence strips that I have for the Latin root form that you can cut apart and put in an envelope and have them choose one at a time. You can make that into a little game, or just have them practice highlighting them. And then the last piece to really help solidify the understanding of the Latin root form is I always like to try and incorporate a little game or an activity. And so the morphology games that I have here, this one's called Uniformity, has the directions on the back. I've laminated these, and it's almost like you're building a wardrobe, and we have a little bag of prefixes and suffixes, and depending on how many words you can build, that is how you can earn points. So I sort of walked you through everything that I would do, with starting with the photograph, seeing how that relates to the meaning of form, building words, using the little magnet folder with the matrix on there, reading sentences, incorporating some writing in there. So we really try to hit multiple areas of language development, spelling, grammar, vocabulary, reading comprehension. You'll find at the end of this reading passage, there is one question. This is content area reading, so children are learning about butterflies and their transformation through the process of metamorphosis. So that is one way that I would structure a morphology lesson. And let me know what you think of it, if you have any questions at all. And let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.